I dead?
No, you're not dead.
Okay.
A person who is turned to stone by a basilisk is not dead. They are petrified. This is reversible. It is not true death. And people know how to remedy this. However, the remedy is hard because in order to remedy this, you need to wash the petrified body of the victim in the blood of the basilisk.
Of the exact same basilisk.
No, that's not
just
clear.
Okay.
But if you could find another one that you'd be willing to get rid of.
You're right. That's
run away from this one and find a different one.
If you'd like to find a different, separate, weaker basilisk, we could play that game for a while too. That's totally fine.
Need to be bathed in the blood of the basilisk.
But I think in terms of our game today, you're going to want this one.
Well, that is another question though. Could we take extra blood and keep it for another time? Or does it require all of its blood?
Blood goes bad.
Oh, ew.
It does. It separates into its components and stuff.
There are ways to prolong the effects of basilisk blood, but it has a shelf life. Khorek study this. They try, some alchemists are pretty proficient at creating concoctions that will last a while, but it's not indefinite. So 1, you all know what a basilisk is. 2, you know how to fix the problem.
Yeah.
3, the basilisk can only gaze at one person at a time. So you do know that if you avert its gaze, because it needs to lock eyes with you, that it can't turn you to stone. It's making eye contact with it. So you can avert your gaze, but doing so gives you a -5 on your attack.
Whoa.
So that's 1 note. 2, and I want to say this before we really dig into the narrative of this fight that we're about to have, is it is up to my discretion to reward you all with creating advantageous situations. And in some cases, that means giving you bonuses to your attacks if you can create a situation that would make your attack easier. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the game does reward creative combat instead of let's all just line up and hit things. If you're doing things to try and distract or hinder a creature so that the other person can maybe get a better strike on it, I will reward bonuses based on the success of those distractions and stuff like that. This is a very hairy situation. This is a very dangerous one that I didn't expect to get to this early in the game. It could change the game quite a great deal, depending on how this goes.
So long, Pim.
Yay! We all know how much Jae loves to kill us.
I don't love
and
it.
by
What?
us, I guess when you say so long, Pim, was it you saying goodbye as Khorek, or are we thinking that, I don't know. David, you got to hang in there.
Have I ever killed you, Tara?
Not yet.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
You got
Challenge
real close in our
accepted
very
with that
first fight.
look.
Well, you got really close in doing real wounds to me, even in just our first fight. I probably wasn't going to die, but it was scary.
You all are walking together, and Khorek is leading the way with their lantern, and you all are pounced on by this basilisk. And thankfully, the lantern blocks Loy, Pim's vision from the creature before Khorek. However, Khorek is unable to avoid the gaze of the basilisk and finds themselves petrified. And Loy and Pim'wei, you recoil and realize Khorek is not moving, and their body slowly starts to turn from head to toe to stone. And you know that a basilisk has the capacity to turn these petrified Khorek back into meat. This is how it traps its prey. And this is why it has very flat teeth, because it's able to bite onto the stone, break it off, and when it swallows it, it turns back into flesh. this is how basilisks work. And this is why they are maybe the most hated, feared creature in all of Khorek, because it seems like a cruel, cruel joke that such a monster would be unleashed by the fellows who created you. I surprised you all with this attack. In fairness, I believe I'm going to allow you all to react. You all can have a turn before we go into, because I blindsided you. I feel like I blindsided you a little unfairly.
I mean,
it's fine. You all are welcome to take your turn in any order that you would like.
Can I ask, how big is a basilisk? Like, how big is
Like a
its head?
panther.
Like a panther?
Okay.
Would its head
Lion.
be about the size of my own head? Or
Its head would be bigger than your head.
quite a bit bigger. I'll tell you what I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about taking
Let's get
off
to that part.
the helmet. I was thinking about taking off my helmet and trying to put it on the face of the basilisk
Reversed?
so that it cannot see.
ooh.
I was going to try and like hop on the back of the basilisk try and blind it with that and get its head jammed inside of my helmet.
David, this is so much better than that time you started mopping.
I mean, let's be honest, that ended up pretty great in its own way.
I mean, it went well. It went pretty well.
The story
Yeah.
element.
it was
didn't go
very
well
good.
for
true
David.
comedy of errors on that one.
You know what? I think we can do this. The key here is, do you want to try and go at this thing head on, or would you rather Lloyd do something to set you up for a little bit better chance at this? Like, we can strategize how this is going to work a little bit, right? Like,
We could, yeah. In a way, I was almost thinking I would do this to set Loy up so that it would have more of a defenseless basilisk. And I could kind of almost try and grapple in that position, try and maybe see if I can stick it on there so that it's unable to see for some time.
I love this idea. Lloyd, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, my only thought, I have two thoughts. I have a thought that I might be able to do to help make it a little bit easier. And I also have a thought of what I would do immediately after if we feel like that's not needed, which is like, to make it easier, I think the only thing I could think of is actually using my telekinesis spell to hold its head in place, or to like move it away, or like make it so that you can more easily wrestle. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I was so afraid for you guys, but you so creative. I love it.
I know I'm petrified, but like if you like made it like look down and like put its head out like that.
Right,
Then he
right. Like,
could-
yeah.
Boom.
Easily just like shoop. And then we can just wail on it.
So telekinesis is manipulating one item, which makes it feel like it can't be a person.
Creature.
What if
Okay.
I manipulate its eyeball?
But it might be, I don't want to give you guys too many tips here, but if he can get the helmet on, you can control the
Keep it
helmet.
on
there.
The helmet's attached to the head.
You're
Right.
right.
You could keep
Yeah.
it on.
I know that's not exactly the goal you had set forth when you were talking about doing telekinesis, but that could be one way of
That makes
a
sense.
different way of handling things.
What was that? What did we roll to avoid this? I don't remember.
Wasn't it Constitution?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It was a
avoid
It was
Games.
Constitution.
Yes.
And I failed
It's
it.
Constitution.
Yeah. Then I guess what I can do in the meantime to try to help is I'm just going to try to distract it. I notice that Khorek is turned into stone, and I go, no, and I see I can see Pim'wei starting to do something over here, and I start to and I like shake my rock armor all over the place.
Just jangling this, like, all these pebbles all over you, just creating like a,
Yeah.
yeah. So you start distracting it. I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're trying to avoid its gaze while you're doing that. You're just
Yeah.
like looking down at the ground or whatever, just like shaking. And Pim, you are taking your helmet off and you're going to try and attack this thing. Describe for me what it is that you want to accomplish here.
Yeah. So I'm kind of looking at its side. I'm not trying not to look at its face, but I'm one to crawl up and get on its back. And then once I'm on its back, I'm putting the helmet, taking off my helmet, putting it over his face, and trying to pull it as hard as I can to get this his head as deeply stuck into my helmet as possible.
It's going to have to be like an attack, like a melee attack.
Okay.
So I'm going to call it a melee attack, and instead of damage, you're going to be able to get this helmet on its eyes to make this fight a little bit easier.
So it's a D20 plus strength?
Yeah.
That's a 4.
Oh! No!
So we're all that, such good plans, guys. So
Yep.
good. Pim, you hear Loy making this distraction, dancing about, jangling these rocks, making this crazy sound.
They probably sound delicious. Don't you like to eat
Probably
rocks?
sound delicious.
With all those distractions, the roll's at advantage, right? Right?
I mean, I don't think I could give you I can't give you like a plus 10 to make this work. Like, I think max is like 5.
But is an advantage you roll twice? They not have
Oh,
that
you
in
want
this?
like an advantage?
I mean,
Like a D&D advantage.
I don't know if those exist in this, but
No, I don't.
They
We're going to
don't.
go with
It's
this failure
pluses.
and see where we go from here, because
Yeah, we will.
It's not over. It's not
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
You go kind of around its side and you try to jump on this thing. Now, you're not that much smaller than it, right? A panther, human's not that much smaller than, I don't know if you've been to the zoo, but they're not, too big. And you try to jump on its back and pin its head down with the helmet, and it slides to the side. Its scaly body is somewhat slick, and it strafes to the side and realizes that you're there now. Now we're going to roll initiative. Whoever has the highest charisma, I don't know which one of you that would be.
I have a 1.
I also have a 1.
All right, so whoever wants to do it.
I think you're the leader right now, Pim.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Do I add anything to the initiative?
Your
The
charisma.
The
modifier.
charisma, so 19.
Hey,
I got an 8, so you guys can go again.
Great.
All right. Was I able to get on its back at all, or am I still
It
just
moved.
next to it?
You're not on its
Yeah.
back, but
Okay.
it ducked under you and is deciding which one it wants to turn to stone next.
Yeah.
Can I? I'm gonna try to give it a wallop. I'm gonna try to give it a wallop to distract it, so that you can try to put the helmet on it again.
It's currently looking at Pim because it tried to attack it.
Great. I'm gonna try to distract it by giving it a wallop with my bag of charcoal.
Go for it.
Oy. It's a 10.
Plus nothing?
No, that's it. That's with my.
Oh, that,
Yeah, that's
no. Not so great. All right. This is going so good, you guys.
I was trying. I probably would have even. It's even worse because I wouldn't have been trying to look. I'm just like flailing wildly. So.
The dice have decided this story ends here tonight.
God.
You-
And all of a sudden,
Three,
there's
everybody,
this
good night.
other couple that wildly wants to make a attack.
I don't know what I do if this ends tonight. I still have like 9 more episodes to make something happen.
You have to find 2 more Khorek that are trying to make a kid. A different kid.
We'll
Yeah.
talk. It
They
depends on who
also
survives.
heard that they needed a sapphire.
Depends on if any of us survive.
Yeah. Talk about Sapphire Doom. It happened in 3 episodes. All right. You try to attack it. And again, it ducks out of the way and it's backing up to probably do something terrible to one of you. Pim, what do you want to do? Lloyd tried to hit it. This thing's hard to hit.
Yeah.
It's very
I
agile.
think kind of the shock to my system that Khorek is petrified is really starting to sink in beyond just the adrenaline that they're not here with me. They might die. And for the first time ever, unknowingly, I am going to start growing in size until I become the size of an elephant. Unbeknownst to me, I've just for the first time cast Primeval Surge.
So angry that Khorek's turned to stone.
I forgot this even existed. What is this?
Look it
Go
up,
Pim.
Primeval
Go
Surge,
Pim.
baby.
Did we randomly give you this?
Yes.
You randomly gave me this.
Yeah.
With the intelligence.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. So cool.
Yeah. So the one aspect of this, and I was even trying to look it up, and it specifically says an object grows to the size of an elephant for intelligence turns. So for me, it's 2 turns. If it is a creature, which I am enraged. So I don't know how rage affects me is the only problem. I could not find that in the Knave handbook.
I feel like definitely, what's your strength right now?
2.
I feel like definitely you have to get some kind of bonus.
Yeah, I would think I would increase in strength. I think I would increase in damage.
You searched the document for enraged?
Yeah, I searched the document for rage. It's only mentioned twice, and it doesn't say what.
It is up to me.
Yeah.
I feel like you definitely increase by 5
In strength.
but you get it for how many rounds?
2.
How many intelligence rounds? So 2 rounds. So you get 2 rounds to be a beast. That seems fair, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 5.
Yeah. Does it plus 5 to attack and damage? How does it would affect damage? rolls?
Oh, I don't think we ever add strength to.
No, we don't add strength to damage.
But it should do something to the damage. You're not hitting it.
Do you want to
like
do
regular.
just 2 since it's 2 intelligence?
Let's do 3.
or something? Okay.
All right.
Jay has decided. So you become enraged. However, the caveat to that is tactical awesomeness. You're enraged. That goes out the window.
Yeah.
It's
My
no
thinking's
help.
very simplistic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're a one-track mind. Fuck this thing up.
I could roleplay that.
Hulk strong. So narratively speaking, this has never happened to you before?
Narratively, this is the very first time this has ever happened.
All right.
Yeah.
So can you describe again so we can lead into this role?
So the reality of the danger that Khorek is in and that she might die fully sinks in. And there is just this animalistic instinct of needing to protect her that I haven't felt since we were back in those caves, hiding from the rotting Kharid. And I am shaking with rage as I start growing until I'm about the size of an elephant. And then I just instinctively, my equipment hasn't grown with me necessarily, so I can't like use my weapons. And I just raise a foot and I try and
Crush this with my foot.
I forgot you said size of an elephant.
Yeah.
All right. Everything I made sense. This is fine. All right. Go for your attack. Yeah. You're gonna get an unarmed strike, but it's gonna be an elephant foot strike. It's gonna be a giant boot strike.
Yeah. So plus 5 strength and plus
3 to the damage.
Yeah.
The die, I'll tell you if you actually hit. Please be good.
That is a natural 20.
Get out of here!
Not kidding. That's a nat 20.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yes, dice. Yes, dice.
Oh,
All right,
dude.
we're back.
All the failures lead up to this critical success.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, in combat, when you roll a 21 plus, the attacker may succeed at a free maneuver. For example, disarming, pushing, stunning, blinding, breaking, gear, tripping, climbing, restraining, etc. They can only cause damage indirectly or on a result with an ability check. So first things first, let's roll damage. Get a D10.
D10.
Yeah, it's a fucking...
So,
like, you know,
all right.
spoiler, the basilisk can do a D10.
so D10 plus 3?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
All right. That's a 5, so total 8.
8, super good. Super fucking good. All right, so you bring your foot down, ho, 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 and you put your boot into...
I just want to clarify, I did not say ho, ho, ho.
Rewind the tape.
Raise a foot, say ho, ho, ho. And I try and...
Crush this with my foot. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. All right. You bring your foot down on this thing. You've had enough of this. And it's like trying to be really agile and ducking an attack from you and ducking an attack from Loy. And it's in that panic mode. And then you grow and it's almost shocked. Like, the hell is this? And you just bring your foot down on it for 8 damage. And you get, because you rolled a natural 20, you get a maneuver. You get to do something to it. All of these seem pretty bad. You can stun it.
I mean, you said blind.
I did say blind.
Its eyeballs just explode.
That seems... Or I don't know, as if a maneuver you would allow me with my rage, specifically towards its eyeballs, turning my beloved to stone, that I could reach down and try and pluck an eye out of its face.
Yeah, I mean, natural. Look, all right, look, ladies and gentlemen, here's the situation. We're trying to have fun here. And at the most important moment of this fight, because I thought that my story was over. You heard me. Rewind the tape. You heard it. I thought this was over. And David came through with a nat 20. What am I supposed to do? I gotta go. I thought the dice gods had determined that this story was done. And then they showed up and they were like, ye of little faith, you have forsaken us. But David doesn't. He will go into the kingdom of 20s and get the role he needs to reward, to save his beloved. Do you know what I mean? What am I supposed to do? It's dope. It's shit. So yes, he's going to pluck an eyeball out with his big sausage hands. He is going to, you don't even pluck it out because your fingers are too fucking big. You just like poke its eyes in with these gigantic, the size of like, thighs, powerlifter thighs. And it just just the damage the skull of this animal. Just, oh, my eyes. And this is the greatest combat ever. And because I forgot you even had this ability. We're full of surprises tonight. And you blind this thing. Loy, it's blinded. And I think it's my turn, right? Because you all...
Yeah, I failed at my wallop. That was happened first.
It is going to try and run away.
Okay.
Because it's like, shit my eyes. And it's going to turn around and try to back up from under this foot. So you just stomp down with your foot, hold it there, and with your fingers, you poke it in the eyes, rupturing these eyeballs inside their sockets. Ooze, pus, I don't know. Oozed eyeballs are dripping like cookies and cream milkshake from its sockets.
Oh my God.
And dripping down into its mouth. And it's trying to get away, spasming under your foot and barely escaping. And it's about to try and go away. Let's roll that charisma roll again to see which one of us gets to go first for this round.
11.
It is going to run. I'm 13. It's taken off. What do you want to do?
Is it me first again?
We get to decide.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, and then we get to decide between us.
It doesn't really know where it's going because it can't see. So it runs and then kind of bumps into Khorek.
We have to stop
who's just standing there like an idiot. And
I'm a statue. Where is statue?
It's running and it's bumping into stuff. It has no idea where the fuck it's going.
Can I just tackle it?
You want to tackle it?
Well, it's got to stop running.
You're strong as shit. Yeah. Go grapple this thing.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
I'm going to give you a +3 to try and grapple it down.
Great.
Because it's freaking out.
Yeah.
That's not the same as hitting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't see you coming because it can't see. Blind as shit.
14.
I need to roll.
Oh, okay.
So 14.
I still think it's like a strength roll, right? Kind of thing.
For me, I have it's a level, and I just rolled a level, and I got a 17. So it's going to squirm away out from under you as you're trying to grapple it. It's freaking out. It's not moving in any normal, logical way because it doesn't know where things are anymore. And then Pim, who still has a round of being enraged, what would you like to do, Pim?
I think enraged, see it's trying to escape. I know I need its blood, and I am barreling after it, and I think I basically just lunge at it, almost to the point where it's just like I'm about to like just belly flop on top.
Belly flop attack? I feel like that's worse than a boot, isn't it? All right, roll.
I would think so.
Roll your attack. What do we say, +5?
Come on, belly flop.
Rolling for belly flop. Oh, that is a dirty 20.
Whoa!
Okay, so no extra maneuver. You almost got like another maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was a 15. So yeah, +5, dirty 20.
So you get a D10 plus the 3 to splash onto this creature that's
That's a 7, so a total of 10.
And last time you got what?
An 8.
8.
Last time I got an 8.
So we're at 18 now. Still alive. Miserable. Fucking. It doesn't want to be. It doesn't want to be.
I mean, how is it supposed to eat from now on? It can't petrify its food. It's kind of screwed.
Yeah. It's just like, finish it. Finish it. And so you just splash this thing and it's stuck. It's stuck.
Oh.
And it's already broken.
Like a spirit.
The morale is broken. I think it is. It is.
It's like a half squashed bug that's still.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
If it's not gonna move or like try to run away,
it's not really gonna do anything. Like it's blind. Like that's how it catches food. Like it's just like, what is this hell that I am now in?
I'm just gonna like pick myself up stiffly from the ground because I'm old and I've been throwing myself around a lot, and I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna use my broad trap to like close it on its head. Yeah.
Broad trap.
That's what we talked about it being called, right?
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, Loy received as an item or picked out as an item a bear trap, but there's no bears in the in this
underground
world.
Yeah.
In the underground. So I like the use of the term broad as a way of saying something's big, the same way that people talk about dire wolves, using dire. I like using broad. And so when Loy is talking about a broad trap, they're talking about ostensibly something that would catch large animals, but you can visualize a bear trap at home. So you're going to just like put the broad trap on its fucking face?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
All right, +5 to hit because it's given up on life.
Come on, dice. Plus my regular strength?
Yeah.
+5 plus my regular strength. Okay, it's a 15.
That is exactly.
I was like, come on.
15 is the number.
Okay. Phew. Yes. It's rustling a little. It's like flopping. I'm just still, I don't know. We did it though.
You just clamp the broad trap on its head. And these teeth of this trap clasp around its throat and neck, and you can hear it snap. And this creature starts to go into its death spasms as Pim shrinks in size, breathing heavily, I imagine, from being so enraged.
I also imagine my clothes are a little tattered, Hulk style.
Clothes are wrecked.
Yeah, a little flavor. I think like while this ability was going, like my eye patch was like glowing a little bit.
Yeah.
And so as I'm shrinking, the glowing of the eye patch stops.
You all look down at this basilisk that you've effectively rendered inoperable. And I'm imagining Loy?
I'll pick it up and put it over, fireman carry it over my shoulder over to Khorek.
I take out my cooking pot and I'm gathering up blood that's been spurting out into the cooking pot.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of you has like a blade of some sort?
I have a hunting
Dagger?
knife.
Hunting knife?
Yeah.
This is how I imagine it. Loy, you cut open the basilisk. Pim, you start gathering the blood in the pot. And the two of you start bathing Khorek's petrified body in this blood until Khorek is restored to her natural state, alive and well.
Hey, there's a lizard thing. It went into the shadows.
Hello, dear listener. It's your old pal Jae interrupting the story for just a brief moment to tell you about how you can support the show so we can reach more listeners like yourself. There are two ways to do this. One is word of mouth. You could review our show on whatever platform you're listening on, and that platform will then push us out to new listeners. It's awesome. Or you can just straight up tell people about our show, whether that's in a community forum like on Reddit or Discord, or literally just going up to a human being while you're checking out groceries and asking them if they need a new podcast to listen to. I hear people love that. Besides word of mouth, you can also go to patreon.com/getoutofdepth and become a paid supporter of my creative endeavors. Paid supporters get a cool behind-the-scenes look at how we make the show. They get access to secret character questionnaires for my players, raw video recordings of every episode that we've made, and a special post-mortem episode featuring myself and the cast when the season is over. But don't worry, if you're not in a position to support us financially, you can still go to patreon.com/getoutofdepth and subscribe for free. You'll be able to keep up to date on everything I'm working on. I'm very thankful for my audience listening to me goof around with my friends, and I hope to continue making cool stuff for you to enjoy with your friends. You can learn all about it at patreon.com/getoutofdepth. Okay, all right, enough of that. Let's get back to the show and see what fate has in store for these three heroes. Khorek, you have this moment of, hey, basilisk, and you look down and you see Pim and Loy. Pim looks rough. Some of his clothes are split. I mean, if we're being realistic, your clothes have disintegrated. So we may have to edit out the idea that your clothes didn't expand with you, or else. This is what you've wanted all along, isn't it, Dave? To just play a character that's just running around in a helmet and nothing else.
Helmet and a beard.
Helmet and a beard.
Yeah. He takes the torn clothes and makes a loincloth.
1 second. Let me check my slots. Okay. I should have repacked my slots with some extra clothes. We talked about doing some packing tonight, so let's...
You're just wearing a bedroll.
Like a sleeping bag around his waist.
Just like a cape, like a child.
Yeah.
After bath time,
that's how I would do. You just tie your blanket around your neck and you're in your underwear. We all did that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Superman.
Yeah.
So you see Pim looks absolutely rough. Loy looks same as usual.
So rough.
Rough, same as ever. Yeah.
But yeah.
You're covered in blood. And there is a beheaded or like gouged out, just mangled mess of a basilisk on the ground at your feet, blood everywhere. And after shock, you probably put 2 and 2 together and realize the order of events that just transpired.
I run up to Khorek. I'm like crying, but then I just start laughing at the situation, and I just embrace them with a full-on cry laugh.
Oh my gosh. I got petrified, didn't I? Oh, Pim. Pim, I'm sorry. Oh.
I'm just so glad you're okay. Oh.
Are you okay? What happened? Like you've got so many rips in the seams of your clothes. I haven't heard of a...
Something happened. I got this rage just needing to protect you, and something happened. I grew to I grew to an enormous size, and I couldn't focus on anything else until that basilisk was dead.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, Pim. And like I put my hands on both sides of his face. I'm like, I was turning to stone, and then you were filled with fire, like while I was cooled. This is what I tell you all the time. You're my balance. This is and I just pull Pim into a big hug. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm all bloody. I apologize. Do I just stay this way?
Well, I'm just so glad you're okay. At least it's basilisk blood, not your own.
Yeah. And not yours either. Are you all okay? Are either of you hurt? No? Whoa.
I've heard tales of basilisks so before, and they were a creature to be feared. I never thought that someday there'd be a basilisk running away from me. He was terrified.
Look at you two smiths battling a basilisk to save a miner. This is great. This is amazing. Ah. And I like go up to Loy and like shake your hand and kind of like pat you on the back.
Yeah, I absolutely helped. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
How long was I out?
It was like maybe 12 seconds. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was afraid it might have been longer. Okay, all right. So we're good. It's not even like a full burn yet. All right.
The basilisk bloodbath was the longest part of it all.
Yeah. Thank you two. Thank you both so much.
I'd do anything for you. You know that.
Same. And I grab their hand.
Here on B5, and for those of you listening, the link to the map will be in the show notes. B5, I believe, is where you all camped out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went into the
And
hex.
then you went to
right
B4.
there.
Yeah.
And fought
right in
this
the shadow
basilisk.
of the Umber. Okay.
So I think you have one more hex you can go. You can go...
I think A3 is the
I
That's
think
where we're going, right?
where we're
Yeah,
going. right?
northwest. Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to go there tonight?
Do we want to go there tonight?
Do you want to finish the day going there?
I kind of do, but I've had it easy today. I just got covered in blood is all.
I don't think any of us have taken damage. I think it makes sense to keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
You all pack up your stuff. Pim, you pick up your helmet, a memory of a great idea that was poorly executed, and plunk it on your head. Khorek, you continue to lead.
I mean, I've still
Khorek,
got
are you-
basilisk
would-
blood on me, so I'm safe now.
Would you consider Khorek unflappable? Would that be a term?
Pretty unflappable, yeah.
Pretty unflappable.
Yeah.
Unfazed by these events, Khorek continues to lead because that is what Khorek knows.
Hmm.
That is their fate, is to lead. And knowing now that your faith in your companions has been rewarded, that even when you fall, they will lift you back up.
I knew it.
You perhaps lead with even more confidence. You all reach this northern part of the map. It's a place that you haven't been before. This is untraveled territory for all of you. And you can see a range of mountains to the north. Spiky, violently tall and sharp, like many rows of teeth. And there is a trail leading to the mouth of a cave that has been well worn. And you can see the trail goes to the cave and then also leads out of the cave going to the west. Outside the mouth of this cave, you can see carts, mine carts, made of metal, iron wheels, tipped over, their contents spilt out onto the ground. And a dark maw of this cave looms just in the distance from you.
The contents of any of those tipped over carts, Sapphire by chance?
Would you like to search them?
A little bit, yeah.
What do you do? Like kind of kick your foot through the dirt?
A little bit more than that, but yeah, but not like I'm gonna sit there for an hour digging. Yeah, it's more like just
Yeah.
kind of seeing what is in
There's
there.
like 2, maybe 3 of these carts turned over on the outside. Most of them just contain chipped stone, black.
As a gem cutter, would I recognize it?
It's not that different than what you're walking on right now.
So it's just it's the stone that they take out to dig deeper, basically.
Yeah, you could assume that safely. Yeah, sure.
What do you all think? We could either go west towards where the village was, or we could go into what looks like it might be a mine.
I want to add something that I was doing while you all were having your intimate moment back at where we fought. I think while you all were doing that, I was taking some of the basilisk blood, and I had a little piece of iron that I imagine is like the baby's head, and I drew eyes on it with the basilisk blood. And so I will, like, from underneath my rock armor, you like hear a rustling, and I pull out the baby, and I like mime its little head moving, and I like point its eyes around. I'm like,
Where do you want to go? Where do you think we should go? I don't know. What do you think?
Are you in the? Is it in the mines? Or is yourself in the mines, or are you in the town? I feel like they're not saying anything. We gotta be quiet.
I share a look with Khorek. I say to Loy, when was the last time that you've done this? When was the last time you've journeyed with a couple like us to make a Khorek?
Whoa. You're asking me to count the burns that I've lived since the day that I left. And that's too many. I don't know. How do you quantify the time that someone has lived? How do you measure? It's been many burns. Enough. Too many. Many. Too many. Enough.
The real question I want to ask is, you seem so driven by this. Why did you stop?
They told me I had to. They kicked me out. They didn't trust me. They didn't believe me. They didn't understand. They didn't understand my methods. They didn't know. They didn't know that they could speak to me, that I could hear it, whispering. I could hear it whispering and what it wanted. I could hear it whispering and what it wanted and how it wanted to be made. I could hear it, and they didn't believe me. And they said that I didn't know what I was doing. But I know what I need to do. I know, and I hear them, and they speak to me. And they told me that I was going to cause problems. I have new ideas, new ways of melding the mines and magma and minerals of many new miners and smiths and many. I don't
and I'm very troubled, and I don't know how to speak about what has happened to me, because it was a long time ago, and it wrecked my confidence, and I'm trying, and I think that I kind of walk away at that point. I'm trying to explain it, and I kind of retreat in on myself, and I start going into one of the carts and kicking at the rocks and the stones, and I'm just muttering to myself about, there's always new ways, and they don't even, they're not flexible, they never think, they don't know, and they don't trust it. If they tell them it happens, and I don't know.
So Loy is over here now near me, because I was near the carts and stuff, and I kind of put my hand on your shoulder and say, it is a time for new ways, Loy. Maybe you just had to learn it all early. I'm sorry that you had to wait.
And I still under your hand, and I am looking deep into your eyes, and I shift the baby bundle into one of my arms, and you haven't seen me without my helmet yet. That is something about Loy. I described what I look like underneath it at the beginning, but you two have not seen me without it. And I take my helmet off at this point. A huge burden is coming off of me. It's and the shifting of stones, and it's got long beads that are hanging on it, and I take it off, and I'm holding it under, and so now you can see that I'm bald. I don't have hair, and the veins, the lead colored veins that are all over my head. They don't understand. Nobody else understands. Everyone thinks that this means a certain thing. And I rub my hand over my head, and I say, but my mind, my magma, my minerals, my mind, I am malleable. New ideas. I think in new ways. They speak to me in ways that none of you ever have understood, because you don't. Your inners are solid. So solid, and they don't mix, and they don't meld, and they don't melt. Thank you. I guess. I'm glad you see. This is why you found me. This is how we found each other. And the fellows. Oh. Khorek, Knave, thank you. Khorek, Knave, the fellow of grace. Khorek, Knave, the fellow of grace.
And that's a bit of a shock. It's late. I think I'm ready to go get ready for tending. Why don't we stay outside the cave and camp here? We'll see how things go.
I start building a fire.
I sit in one of the overturned carts by myself and with the baby for a little bit. We're going to talk a little together.
How would you all like to divide up watches over the course of the tend?
I'll go first.
I'll go second.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I probably might just fall asleep and then you just have to wake me up. Like,
Yeah.
Before you
For
do,
my-
I actually tap you on the shoulder, Loy, and say, Pim is going to take first watch. Would you mind if we practiced holding the baby while we take watch?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Here. And I take the bundle and I actually give it to Pim. Like, we got to practice, right?
Practice holding it?
And being up all night with him, from what I understand.
Okay. I'll practice with you.
Okay. All right. I'll hold them during the second watch.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I have this little bundle in my lap by the fire, and I open up my notebook to a new page, and I start sketching Loy without their helmet on.
Pim, can you roll a d6 for me?
A 1.
oh, that's just an encounter, right?
Just.
Encounter. Guess who gets to be petrified now?
No.
That looks like somebody's eating our meat.
Just kidding. Pim, while you're sitting there sketching Loy without their helmet on, you hear a sound coming from the cave, from the mine.
What does it sound like?
It sounds like rocks shifting, the sliding of boulders on other boulders.
Does it keep going, or did it just happen?
Intermittent.
No.
You'll hear that sound and then the echo of it deep into the mines. And then you sit and listen quietly and you think that was all it was. And then something will happen again. And then maybe the time will pass even longer, but it doesn't feel like it's close. It feels like you're hearing the echo of something deep in the mine.
I don't wake them, but every time I hear it, I startle, and then I just sit there in like bated silence for a couple moments before I go back to my sketch.
It eventually subsides and you don't hear it again, and then you realize it's time to wake up Khorek.
I shake Khorek and say, "The baby needs you."
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
That's really cute.
And I get kind of settled into into an uncomfortable perch that I know will keep me awake, and hold my arms out for the bundle.
I sit with Khorek for a little bit as she's cradling our baby.
This is nice.
Does what Loy said scare you at all?
That they hear voices that tell them to do things differently, and that their mentor didn't believe them and all that?
Yeah. The fact that they were told they could no longer be a reckoner. I haven't met too many reckoners. It's hard for me to know what to compare Loy to, but are you sure you trust her to create our child? If the reckoners themselves did not?
I'm wary. Not stupid, but I just can't help feeling like previous generation just really wanted everything to stay the same. And I don't think it is, Pim. We saw the rot that walks. We saw it kill your sibling. No one believes that. And it's also close to home.
So many Khorek have been wrong about so many things. So you think, what if they've been wrong about Loy?
Yeah.
Our people do need something new. And maybe Loy is the person that can do that, but I want a child to love and to raise. I don't want an experiment. And I just need Loy to understand that.
You know, I think you're right, because it's all in how you look at it, isn't it? I mean, people could look at me replacing my Smitty on the council as an experiment. See you and me together as an experiment. We experimented a lot in the mines trying to figure out how to get away from the rot. But I guess it's all in how you look at it. We're going to have to experiment a lot. We take care of the little one. But I think it's all in how you approach it.
You always have a way of putting things into perspective. And I put my forehead against theirs before I roll out my bedroll and go to sleep.
Khorek, could you roll a d6? Khorek, you spend your watch holding this facsimile of a kindling. It's, Loy, what'd you say it was? Silver face?
It's got a piece of iron
face,
as its face, yeah.
It's got an piece of iron that has a face scrawled on it with basilisk blood. And perhaps your kindling will have a memory, will be imprinted with the trials that you all have gone through to bring it to life. Your watch passes without incident. You go to wake up Loy.
And I go to wake them up, and once you kind of seem like you're coming out of it, I say, "Hey, Loy, thanks for letting us practice. It was helpful. I need you to know something. If something happens to me, it's real important that Pim has this child to me, that they get to love it and cherish it. And it's real important to me that nothing and no one takes it away from Pim. Okay?"
I reach out and I put my hand on your wrist and I say, that I can promise.
Thank you. And I hand over the bundle. I'm in my bedroll.
Loy, could you roll a d6?
A 2.
Loy, you stay up thinking of, today was a heavy day for Loy. A lot of things were brought up in conversation that struck a lot of nerves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you are putting those into some kind of perspective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But there's also, and during my watch, I also do my coal walking ritual to like warm up my joints. But I think that the one thing, even though the vulnerability hangover was really hard at first, what Khorek said to me just then, they didn't know it, but was exactly what I needed to hear right then.
Yeah.
That feels to me like I am right where I need to be. Like that felt to me like the fellows speaking to me and apologizing for what happened before. Here's my moment.
And for you, dear listener, if you want to know why they feel that way, you can go to patreon.com/getoutofdepth and subscribe to read the questionnaire.
Yeah.
A questionnaire that Gail has zero idea what is in it. Your watch passes without incident, and you see the fire return to Pim'wei, and you see the fire return to Khorek. Everybody is refreshed today. If you had lost any hit points, which I don't think any of you did, or you used up any spells, those are returned, and the Maw of the Mines remains, just as it did the night before.
I'm kind of sticky, so I'm going to take some of the ash from whatever fungus we've been burning and maybe some of the completely burnt charcoal, and I'm going to start rubbing it on me just to be not sticky. So I'm kind of just covered in ash and like absolutely filthy, but it's better than being sticky.
Just a little exfoliant.
Yeah.
Why am I sitting here being like, wow, charcoal would be a good. It is. They use it in like.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
In my soap right now.
Yeah. It's a great
in my
purifier.
soap in my bathroom.
Yeah.
So you're all up. Are we heading to the village or are we heading inside the mine?
I mean, from what they told us, this easily could be the mine here.
Yeah, it's definitely a mine, and it's definitely in the right area. I think I want to go in.
I heard something in there last night.
Oh, yeah?
There were some rocks that just kept rustling. Every few moments that there was something moving in there, whether it be made of rock or whether it was moving large rocks inside. There's something in there.
Well, we better be alert then. Well, I would have expected if it was really in use, more Khorek would show up, but could be a great worm or something like that. You didn't smell anything, did you?
No.
Okay.
I think the rotting is behind us.
Okay. All right. Well, let's give it a shot, but yeah, let's be extra quiet and just real careful.
Got my triple flail.
Triple flail is out. Gail, anybody can answer this, but for whatever reason, I want to ask Gail. Gail, do you have available to you a pen and paper? Because you might want to map this.
I do.
All right. You all enter the cave, Khorek at the front with their lamp, and the lamp lights up, and you can see on the walls there are torches that are not lit, and lanterns hanging from the ceiling that have a stone inside that is barely glowing right now. But you've heard of these glowstones. They're made from rocks that have taken on some of that fungal matter from the luminal hills. And it's often used to light trails. In fact, Loy would know that this luminal stone is used to light the trail on the way to the caverns of...
The forge.
Yeah.
The birthing
where you would forge the child. So you see them, they look like they're dying a little bit. So there's a slight glow, but most of the light's coming from your lamp. And you can see that there is trails that lead to the left, center, and the right. So there's 3 paths to choose from, and there is a crude track where, like, grooves in the stone where the carts would have moved along. In addition to that, you see on the floor some pickaxes. Some of them are broken and covered in dirt as though they haven't been used in a very long time.
Can I grab one of those?
Yeah, if you have an item slot for it.
I do. I have 2 slots open.
Sick.
Yeah.
So, Jae, as a miner, do I know anything of like tech normal mining techniques, like especially like setting up mines or anything like that? Is there any reason to choose one of these hallways over another? Or like would I know like which one would have been dug first, second, or last?
Usually the paths were created to kind of spread out. So whatever it is that they had found here, they created 3 different pathways so that they could find veins of whatever substance it is that they were looking at different points. It was just a way to cast a wide net, as it were.
Yeah.
So any direction.
Okay. Anything look more worn than the others?
No, not really.
Okay. Anybody got a specific feeling?
I trust you. Lead.
All right. Center it is.
You start to venture into this center passageway, watching your step to not slip into that groove that's on the floor for the mine carts. And this winding passageway takes you to an open area that looks like it's been hollowed out, like perhaps something had been found here, and so the Khorek who were mining here expanded it, picked away at it. Most startling is that you see several Khorek, their bodies, if Khorek was petrified, and that is not the true death of a Khorek, not the true form. When a Khorek dies, they do harden, but they harden in a way that the whatever liquid in their body dissipates, and they shrink and tighten, emaciated, until they harden, as if they'd been dried out. You see several of these Khorek who have found the death. They are chained. A long chain runs along the center of the room through iron hoops that have been hammered into the ground. You see their pickaxes on the floor, pails, buckets that they had used to move whatever they were digging in here away. But whatever they were digging, it's clear that they were not allowed to leave.
Is there any way to look at these bodies and see if they all died at the same time?
Or of similar cause?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to check out these bodies, and they are like casts of the essential of what is inside of a Khorek's body. And one can observe this cast, and you know, if a Khorek's brain was smashed in, if their head was smashed in, you would be able to tell. These Khorek are in mostly good condition. Doesn't look like there was any blunt force, and it would be not outside the realm of possibility that they starved here.
How many bodies do we see?
4.
You said it was like a hollowed out area. Is there further exits, or is this...
There is an exit.
Okay.
It juts off to the northeast.
Do the chains Are they just tethered in here, or does there look like... I guess what I'm picturing is like a whole big long link of chain where they're all linked to the same chain, or are they...
They're all linked to the same chain that is running the length of this room.
And does it go out the exit as well, or stay in the room?
No, it stays in here.
Okay. And we're not used to anything like that, correct?
No.
Okay. Just...
We usually take pride in our work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have disagreements with other Khorek, but nothing like, let's chain you to a mine.
Forcing a Khorek to work seems preposterous.
Yeah.
Are these bodies still chained?
Yeah, they're linked together.
I'm going to try and break them of their chains.
Yeah.
Okay.
I take my pickaxe out and start doing the same. And I actually take a moment. I'm like, so much for being quiet. And then just like, I'm like, this is stupid. I can't keep going like this.
May we give them freedom in their death.
You break these chains of all four, freeing them from their binds. And you feel a hand on your shoulders, each of you. And it's a gentle caress that starts on your shoulder and goes down the side of your back as if it is drifting away. You all feel it individually, and you turn, and you're overcome with this feeling of connecting to something beyond this realm. And you can hear the whispers, the pained whispers of gratitude as the echoes of a flame long since put out is allowed to burn freely in the beyond.
Can I add one of the chain links to the bundle?
Yeah.
Even if there are no sapphires in here, we were meant to be here.
Yeah. I had no idea anything like this could happen. I feel such a fool.
Who would have trapped Khorek like this? What evil did this?
I don't know. I can't think of any creature, even a Khorek, that could do this. A machine or cunning, they're not that cunning.
The Mushin.
Mushin, oh, sorry.
It is, the Mushin it's possible. These look like they've been here for a very long time, which would mean that the Mushin have been here for a very long time, but also you haven't seen any of them either.
Yeah. Mushin, do they use chains and stuff like that we've seen?
There's a lot you don't know about them.
I think we need to go further in.
Yeah. All right. I guess we go northeast exit.
You continue down this winding corridor, and Pim, you hear behind you the rocks. Something about rocks moving.
Behind me?
Yeah. This feels very present in the space, not like the moment you just had in the room with the dead Khorek. This feels very present. And then Loy and Khorek, you hear it too. But Pim, it strikes you because it's not that dissimilar to what you heard the evening before.
I stand very still and I try and see if I can track where the sound's coming from.
When you turn around, you notice that the walls of the corridor that you're in don't look the same.
Are there still the glow lanterns on the walls, or that was just in the entrance?
Very dim.
Okay.
There are some hanging from the ceiling.
But the walls look different. How so?
You can't put your finger on it because it was rocky walls, and they're still rocky walls. Something about them doesn't feel like what you just walked through. Maybe it's just because you're looking at it from a different direction.
What if I put my finger on it?
You put your finger on it and it's completely solid.
Is it possible that this cave is alive?
Ooh.
That the rocks move around us? Like we're inside Haku itself?
Wouldn't that be something? I'm going to bring my lantern up close to the rocks and kind of walk back and forth on the corridor.
At Pim's suggestion, I go from putting a finger on the wall to my whole hand, and then I put my forehead on the wall the way that Pim does with Khorek to try to listen.
And when you put your forehead on the wall, the entire section of the wall that you are standing in front of sinks back, almost as if a piece of rock has dissolved into the wall of stone. And the shape looks like a Khorek. It looks like a figure with arms, legs, and a head. But whatever was there You had touched your forehead to its forehead, and now it's gone.